Thank you, sir. Now we have Ms.Uma Rao, ma'am, the Vice President and HR of Ashok Leyland, who has completed her Master's from Tata Institute of Social Science and Global Advanced Management Program from Northwestern University Kellogg School of Management, and has experience of being HR professional with well-rounded HR experience in multiple sectors like petroleum, IT, telecom, FMCG, manufacturing, and in learning MNCs and Indian companies, and have received honors like 30 Women Super Achievers Award, 100 Most Influential HR Leaders Award from World HRD Congress, Member Board of Directors in Gulf Ashley Motors Limited, and Women Excellence Award from Women Economic Forum, and has also done a publication of Missions K54. We take immense pleasure in welcoming you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. That's a very generous introduction. Thank you. How's everyone doing today? I hope it's a nice rainy day outside in Chennai. And I hope everybody is enjoying the weather, right? So can I get started now?
Yes, ma'am. You can go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Right. So it's such a pleasure, I mean, one of the things I'm very passionate about is to interact with a lot of youngsters, like you, who actually, help us to understand how the world is changing outside. So I'm really pleased to be with all of you today. And I think it would have been so good had it been face to face, but I think we have to make the most of what is available with us. So with that, I will get started. I don't have anything, in terms of pearls of wisdom that you expect. I think a lot of other speakers will tell you how to behave, what to do, etc., etc. I've got something really different because the topic that you gave, bucket list, I loved it, in fact. And I don't know how many of you have actually seen this movie, Bucket List by Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson. It's one of the epic movies, the wonderful movies. And as you keep growing, I think you will realize that you connect with that movie beautifully well. It's a movie about two cancer patients who decide to live life before they actually die. And some immense lessons of life have come into that. Friends, what I feel, you can learn everything about the subject. Sometimes I believe we don't even need a teacher because you can get into the web, internet, do everything. You can get every information available. You don't need anything. What you really need is, the way to live life and the way to conduct yourself so that, you feel really proud about who you are. So I have a little presentation. It's nothing conventional. You don't need to copy. I can share it. It's all from the web. But I think what I'm trying to do is opening your mind to something more than just looking at your classroom classes, which are very important. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, nobody gives you a job if you're not good at what you're doing. But I think it's about how you translate it to your everyday living, right? So this is what I have to speak for the next maybe half an hour or so. So let me do a bit of a screen sharing and tell me if you can see that. So, so can you see this, Professor Bala, anybody there? Because I can't see the screen from here. Are you able to see this?
Your screen is not yet visible, ma'am.
I have shared the screen. Is it possible to look at it?
You can go to that screen share button, ma'am.
I've done from that only, screen share.
We couldn't see.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try again. I think I'm doing it right. Your entire screen. Yeah, so I've done that. Okay. So, tell me if you can see now.
Yes, okay.
And is it on the PowerPoint mode?
Yes, now it is.
Yeah, now? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay, great. So I've put together a college bucket list. And you know what? This is not prescriptive. This is for you to decide whether you want to take it this way or take it any other way. There's nothing that I'm speaking here that is prescriptive to any of you. But I think these are connecting to my own experiences, which I thought is good to share. So let's see what we have in store here. So one of the most important things through your life, and not just your student life, is to be inspired and to inspire, right? And that's really what this whole journey is about. How many people get influenced by you, and how many people are you influenced with? Okay? And that's what this beautiful quote says. Design a life that you are inspired to live. Okay? Because it's in your hands. Nothing happens just like that. You are the master architect. You're the Pablo Picasso. You are Jamini Roy. You are all the famous artists of the world for your life, right? Because you can do what you can do to yourself like nobody else can. And so a few things around that is, throughout your education, and life in general, be indulgent in acts of kindness. Okay? How we treat people around us shapes the person that we become. So are you indulging in compassion, acts of kindness? Okay? Because you can always be right, but to be kind sometimes is also as important. So are you compassionate with people? I think that's what will make you as a great leader as you go forward. It's not your technical knowledge that makes you work with people. It is about how you connect with them. That is something which you must pay attention to right from now, right? Are you using education for a good cause? Like, for example, are you volunteering to do something? Are you stepping out of your comfort zone to be useful to somebody else who's less privileged? Or are you putting your education to a good cause by using it for the right reasons? We can be educated and do all kinds of things which are not at all acceptable and don't give us any dividend. So are you using your education for a good cause? Many of you would have chosen different branches of engineering. Do you read the newspaper and try to connect it back to your profession or the stream you have chosen? How is electrical engineering changing the world, for example? How is electronics engineering changing the world? Every education has to do something, right, to the world. Otherwise, it's no use to have such an education. So are you the thinking individual who's trying to use your education in the right way? I think that's what is more important than mugging up a lot of pages. And that's what may lead for you to give livelihood to many people, make some very great discoveries, etc. Are you doing a group project? Really, friends, as students, if you don't do group projects, you don't learn and you don't grow. Group projects are simply awesome because you will experience so many emotions: jealousy, cooperation, unwillingness to share information, using your tact to get something out of people, groupism. You will face all these things, and these things are great learning ground about life skills, right? How to do a project collaboratively is what you learn out of this without trying to offend other people. You don't go to college, saying that today I'm going to make so many enemies. You want to make friends, more and more. And therefore, please raise your hand and join a group project. It's the best learning of life, I would say. Creating something from scratch. Many times when I go for all of these talks, there'll be a bunch of really interesting projects that come up to us, saying that, we've done this, we want funding for this, can you give us ideas for this, can you give us expertise from this? They're trying to create things from scratch. And I will go back to my own experience, of course, long back in time. But, in school, I was a class captain, right? And also the house captain. And for the first time, we did a science exhibition. We didn't have anything. We didn't have any kind of backing from the teachers or anything. When I think of it now, I don't know what kind of courage we had to do things like that. We actually created a water heater, by putting two iron rods to the clamp, twined it with a good wire, and then put the bare wire into the plugs, and put water with a bucket with the water, and then the water started getting heated up. Very raw way of showing how transmission of energy was happening. We actually made those games with bulbs, so you match the city and the capital city and the state and things like that. A lot of things were so raw when you think of it. And when you look at the projects today in schools, they're so well done. But this is so raw. But I tell you, the immense pride that we had in doing something from scratch and running an entire exhibition and parents coming and saying, wow, and all that. You really need to create something from scratch. That's a feeling that is, unparalleled, right? Scout for funding for a project. This is really, really great, I'm telling you. You will receive a lot of negative responses. Many people will not even respond back to you. Some people may, but they will not take it forward. It's a test of your resilience, of your patience, of your persuasiveness. When I was studying in Tata Institute, we had to scout for funds for our seminar. And back those days, there weren't many people who were too keen to do things like this. We had to go in South Mumbai from office to office trying to get this. And I made a great friend because I went with my junior and he's a friend for life. Anytime I know that I can count on him. These things actually do some amazing things to your life. And we could see the real side of people and how they behave with students and things like that. So if you've not done this in your college life, you're missing something. So please do that, This is something I would say. Be inspired and try to inspire others with the acts of courage that you will take up, right? I think everybody knows what YOLO is, yeah? Any response to that? Anybody? What is YOLO? Anybody wants to speak?
You only live once.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what life is about. So when you want something in life, you just got to grab it. Nobody is going to give it to you on a platter, right? And it's a myth to believe that if you're a good professional, things will come walking to you. Well, good luck to you if it does happen. But I'm saying go and grab it because the time is short and you need to get what you want to. And that's really one of the important things. Do not hesitate. The only stupid question is the one that is not asked. The question that is asked can never be stupid. But in that, yes or no kind of a state of doubt, we often miss out many things. So, you shouldn't end up like this, what Paulo Coelho said. One day you will wake up and there won't be any more time to do the things you've always wanted. Do it now. And that's why Nike says, just do it, right? And that's a very powerful statement. You want to talk to somebody, pick up the phone and talk. There isn't another day. You want to meet somebody to discuss some topic, do it now, right? You want to get started on a project, do it now. There isn't a better time, I'm telling you. Most recently, a very beloved professor from Great Lakes, whom I revere and respect so much, Professor Rajan, he's been such a guiding light in my life. And I've been thinking for a while to call him, and then I got busy. We all get busy in life here. Sometimes it's really silly things, I would say. And I said, okay, this weekend I'm going to call him. And lo and behold, on the Friday of that week, he passed away. And it's such a regret in my mind, I can't tell you. And living with regret is one of the worst feelings in life. You want to do something, go and do it, because there isn't another time. Of course, do the right things. Don't do the wrong things and end up in a jail or things like that. But to the extent possible, fulfill what you feel in your mind, because nobody else is going to do it for you, right? I'm saying at the cost of incurring the wrath of the professors, but being a rebel is okay, right? Education is not about filling a bucket, but it's about lighting a fire. If you call yourself educated, you should have done something which is out of the box, which is something that, you will remember forever. And I'm telling you, in my student days, we had a lot of these agitations for various things, right? And rightly or wrongly, I don't know that. You always have a different perspective later. But, we were out there standing on the flyover, screaming our lungs out and sort of saying, no, we don't agree to this, have placards, posters. Oh my God, such a riot of activities. But, you had to be there because it was important for you to be part of that. And I think if you're not a communist in your student days, you can never be one, ever. And not that you have to be, but being a communist brings a rebel out of you. I would again say for the right cause. And I remember many times I have stood for the fight for women. Yeah. And I felt so good about myself having done that. It's an adrenaline pump. So light a fire. Do something that's going to change the world. Because in this age, you believe you can change the world. Later on, a lot of realities come into the picture, and then you say that, no, I can't change the world. Actually, that's not true. You can change the world anytime you wish, because it's a fight for a long, long time. So, have you been a part of a movement? If you've not been, seriously, I think you're missing something in it. Go, stand for a cause, whether it's environment, women, pets, or, right kind of education system, whatever it may be. Have you participated in a rally? You must. I mean, it's a great feeling to express solidarity with a lot of other people for a cause. Yeah. Choose the right cause, though, as I keep saying, right? Have you screamed your lungs out against injustice? Not just in internet and blogs that it happens now, but even physically when the time is right. Now the time is not right. I saw this Jallikattu movement that happened. Great movement, right? I mean, a lot of things happened as a result of that. Of course, there will be many people who think that some things were not right about it. And yes, every movement and rally will have something that is not right, but there could be many things which are right. And it need not turn violent. So have you really done that? If you have not done it, then, you have to really examine whether you've been the student one would want to be. Do you believe you can change the world? As I said, I believe, and I think each one of you should believe. Your belief is going to move mountains. Your belief will make a difference to this world, not just by thinking that I can do. You can actually do it. So always keep that power of intention alive in you, because it really makes a difference. So even through your education, if you really want to do something path-breaking, you have to work for it. It's not going to happen. How many of you are making publications, right? How many of you are writing papers? Please do that. It really, really opens your mind into appreciative inquiry and looking at things from different perspectives. Learning something which is there in the book is great, but inquiring into it, I think, takes you to another level and makes you much evolved. And that's something you should always keep in mind as a student. Well, this is something I really believe in. If you're not adventurous, you haven't lived life. Okay? Jobs fill your pocket, as they say, but adventure fills your soul. And this is again a classic picture from the same movie Bucket List. The two of them decide to do the skydiving and they survive. But what are they scared of? They were anyway going to die because of cancer. And I'm saying that we don't have to live life as if we're going to die tomorrow. I think we should live life. So if you're not adventurous, you haven't lived life. When I was studying, we would go out at night to watch a movie, etc. There was a closing time for the hostel. You had to come by that time. But obviously, night show is not going to end before that. So we used to come back and we used to do some really silly things. Like you had to write in the logbook outside as your name and stuff. And we would write all the actors and actresses' names and come in. We were not doing anything wrong, yeah. But we had a lot of fun with that. And today, when I look back at my times of studies, I don't remember how many theories I learned. I do, let's be honest. But it's not that I remember every class. But what I do remember is some of these things where, we had a lot of adventure. We did something silly, but not really bad. And we felt so thrilled about it. So I think some kind of adventure is great. We went trekking to Matharan and things like that with a whole group of people. So adventurous, because in the winter when there's fog and you're not sure of the route and it's a kind of dark, and so you rely on each other and then you go over there and come back. My God, it was so exciting. And I remember that even till today. The only caution, of course, is remember to carry your parachute if you're flying high, and please just don't get caught by the police. It's not worth it. Throughout your life, you will have to sign up saying that have you been arrested by police? And you have to say yes. I don't think it's a very great prospect for you to do that. So don't get caught by the police, which means don't do things which are against the law. And of course, carry your safety net, your parachute. Because when you fall, you should be able to protect yourself. That's something which I would really recommend. Yeah. Um, to be inquisitive and learning is the only motto of a human life, I think. I mean, imagine a life where you have no inquisitiveness to know what's happening around you. You don't want to learn anything. That's a very poor life. So if travel is your therapy, like it is for me, indulge in it because you learn so much. Traveling makes you grow as a human being. You learn about different cultures. You learn to tolerate many things. You learn new things. You learn that there are many ways to salvation in life and not just the one that you have grown up with. And exploration makes you open-minded. And I think the citizens that we create out of all of you who are studying should be people who are open-minded. You can't say that this is the only way of doing it. Long back in school, teacher used to teach us a way to do a math or a division. And I used to come back and tell them that this is the way to do it. And my brother would tell me, no, there are two other ways to do it. Look at it. And I would say, no, my teacher is not going to accept this. We are brainwashed in many ways through our education system from childhood that there's only one way of doing things. And I'm saying, can you challenge that? Can you look at newer ways of doing things and come back and get the same result or even a better result? I don't know. I mean, a 2 and 2 is going to be a 4. It can't be better. But there are many ways in which you could do that. I think that is something which only youngsters like you can bring to the earth. That spirit of, openness and looking at things in a very different way. And of course, like always, don't forget a compass and your torch. As you're trying to explore, remember you need direction, right? Direction is extremely important. If you go aimlessly, you're a wanderer. You're not an explorer, right? And wandering is good for a hermit, but may not be good for a student like you. So keep your compass with you and keep a torch because there will be times in life when you feel really fogged out, when you feel really dark, you can't see anything in front of you, you need a torch, right? And typically when you go on an expedition also, you will realize that you need a torch, right, to go ahead. So I think these are important cautions to keep in life. And this one is my favorite. Cherish the elixir of friendship, right? And what a powerful quote. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your enemies, but a great deal more to stand up to your friends. Yeah? So are you going to stand up for your friends when they need you? Right? That's what friendship is about. It's not about abandoning them when they need. It's not against, enemies that you stand. But what gives you real character in life is when you say, yes, he's my friend, and I know that probably he or she has done something not so good, but I am solidly here for you, my friend. And that's what, makes you feel safe and secure in life when you know that you've got your back to your friends. And this is very powerful, according to me, because there are so many times in our life when we feel really down, depressed, judged by the whole world, right? Judged by your parents. It's not unusual. Parents also can be very unforgiving at times. I am one and I can tell you that this does happen. You could feel like you've gone to the end of the world, right? And that, there is nobody there who's with you. These are very natural feelings that everyone goes through, especially when you had a mess up with some friends or somebody has rejected you or a professor has given you a dressing down, and sometimes they're right too. You really feel that, oh my God, I wish I had that one person I could look up to who can be with me and say, hey, Uma, it's absolutely fine. I'm here. You can do what you want, but I'm not going to judge you. I'm just there for you. And I think all of us need those kind of friends. But before needing, are you one? That's really the question. So some of these things sound familiar, I think, to all of you. Helped in exams. Sometimes that's not the right thing to do. But come on, in friendship, it works, right? So you help. Yeah, in exams. That's another way of saying that you're allowing cheating, which is not good, but then we do it, right? And then help in making special friends, especially from the opposite sex. A lot of people, have friends for these reasons. I have been a friend to many people for passing the notes from one person to the other and things like that. Come on. I mean, that's what friendship is about. You need to do that, right? Attendance proxies. Let's not shy away. We do that. And then we've done that. All of us have done it. I have done it years back, right? And I'm sure today there are more sophisticated ways of doing it. Even as colleges and schools are getting better and better by putting biometric and sound recording and all kinds of things. But, we'll always find a way out, right? That's what we do for friends, right? And somebody's not coming. Somebody's gone out somewhere with another friend and they say, yeah, can you mark a proxy for me? And we're more than happy to do that, right? The cover-up act for absenteeism. Hey, somebody is having fun. He's having fun. Why do you want to be the spoiler, right? So, he's not well. He's got a stomach ache and he's got this and that. We all do that, So today the reasons may be different, but I think it always happens. And that should happen because that's for friendship. Giving true information to friends' parents, and true is in inverted commas. The parent is asking you, do you know where this person is? Yeah, he's busy in the project, in the lab, in the this and the that. I think it happens. And it's so beautiful because that lie, if it's not for a bad reason, I think it's important to do because you're standing up for your friend. And sometimes it's also important to show the mirror to your friends, apart from all of this, and say, hey, you know what? I think these are things that you're doing which suck. And you need to really change yourself quickly before it gets on to you. Not everything that friends do actually is right. And sometimes we should learn to show the mirror. Bunking a class for a friend's birthday, I have done that many times. And with a lot of pride, I would say that. Yeah, because being with a friend on her or his special day and enjoying and making that person happy felt more important than sitting in a boring class sometimes. So, yeah, it happens. But as long as it's not happening every day, it's fine, These are things, I think, which are elixir of friendship, and we shouldn't lose it. So no matter what discipline you take, no matter if you're a topper, no matter if you're the best guy in the college, we all need friends, okay? So never get people away from you. Be that magnet towards which people come. And you don't need to have like 1 million friends. And don't have these Facebook friends, real friends who will come to you, who will talk to you, who will be with you when you want to. Now you pick up a phone and say, I'm feeling a little down today. Can we meet up for a bit? That person should be able to come, right? So that is the true friendship, and we can't do in this world without friendships. Okay? Hardy and Ramanujam is a classic case of friendship that you would have read, and there are many such stories in the history where friendship has made people do amazing things in life, discover the best in each other. So, do you want to be poor by not having that? I would say, please re-examine your premises, right? And I'm sure we do this. Everybody would have done it. Explore every eatery in the neighborhood. That's what friendship can do. Your parents can say, oh, that place is not very clean and we shouldn't go there and things like that. But your friends don't do that. They just come with you and everybody has fun, knowing fully well that may not be the best, most hygienic place. But, those are things you must do because that's what you will remember in your life years later. I finished school I don't know how many years back, but I still remember these things more than anything else. We used to go to a coffee joint in Mumbai, and we used to go and have it was $5 a coffee at that time. And I'm obviously talking of a long time ago. And we would to share that, coffee. And that was such pleasure and bliss. Absolutely. So it's not about the big things in life, the small things that make a difference in your life. And today, probably I can afford a coffee of 200 rupees or 500 rupees, but I'm having it alone. I don't enjoy it as much as this cutting chai or cutting coffee I used to have with my friend. And that's what you must always cherish. Yeah. Making mistakes, well, mistakes happen. To err is human. Okay. And the way I look at it, the scar is the proof of a healed wound, right? You did something that didn't go very well, but you healed yourself through it. And that scar, never feel bad about that scar because that tells you that you made a mistake, but you healed yourself out of it. So don't, feel so bad that something has gone wrong in life. For everybody in life, there is something that goes wrong. And that's why they say, Shakespeare said, to err is human, right? And to forgive is divine. And who's the person forgiving you here? It could be your parent. It could be the supernatural force that we have. It could be your friends. Yeah, they will do it at the end. But I think don't stop trying because of that, right? And so in the end, We only regret the chances we didn't take. And then, 30 years later, 40 years later, if you want to do those things, you can't do that, right? And so, please take those chances. And so my advice is, don't stop trying, but just try different things, right? Don't try the same thing and fall in the same mess again and again. Try different things, fall into another mess, get out of it. This is the story of resilience. You fall, you get up, you run, you fall, you get up, you run. And that's what life is about. If you stop running, if you stop falling, it's such a shame because you've never lived your life. So when we take it to the context of your college, sometimes maybe your relationships have gone sour with somebody. Or, you got really badly badgered in an exam or a test. And that's not the end of life. Begin again. Get up, begin again. You are wiser now. You should be wiser. If you go and fall in the same mess again, I'm sorry, something is going wrong. You need some counseling. But otherwise, do that. And years later, don't feel bad that, I wish I did this. I wish I did this experiment in the lab. Maybe I would have got a patent by now. Maybe I would have written an article by now. Maybe I could have made my college really proud. Yeah, these things are all things that should not come back to your mind as a regret. Right? I've done something. Maybe it didn't work, but I tried. Yeah, so that is something very important. And this quality, my friends, later on at work also is very important. Because at work, there is a lot of organization politics. There is a lot of, bad breath sometimes. People are out to get each other because it's a competitive world we're living in. And you can't really fall down and say, oh my God, I'm beaten. No. If you're beaten, that's the time you need to find the resilience to get up. So try from now. And you will be invincible when you get to work. Okay, this is something which is very important. You can't make everyone happy. And so stop trying to make everyone happy because you're not tequila. For those of you who drink or know what it is, tequila is a great drink. People love it. It gives you a real high in a minute. But you're not a tequila, right? I mean, you're not here to make everyone happy. And how does everyone become happy? By your act. It's their choice to be happy or not to be happy. Okay? But if you go around, sort of shooting people around, throwing people, kicking them, they're not going to like you. But that's the other extreme I'm talking about. But I'm saying that, lead your life. You can't make everyone happy. Somebody doesn't like your hair. Somebody doesn't like your clothes. Somebody doesn't like the way you study. Yes, there will always be a set of people who don't like it. And so, what I believe? That you and I and all of us are actually unfinished business because we're continuously evolving. We're continuously learning. If you realize that you made somebody unhappy who meant a lot to you, you will learn it the next time to say that, okay, I shouldn't do this. So we are iterative in our life and we are unfinished business. So if you ever believe that at 25 years, you'll be the finest version of yourself, give up such thoughts because that never happens. You're always evolving. And today I feel, oh my God, I need to do much more. I get this anxiety. So I think all of you will feel that way at some point in time. You are never finished business. But amidst all this, remember a few things. You must keep your teachers happy, right? And they're very important part of your life. You should seek their mentorship. They have got wisdom. You should seek their mentorship. Be in touch with them, even after graduating. Very important. Every teacher not only comes to teach in the class, but they also want to feel very proud to see their prodigies, shining bright. And if you are taking that time to let them know that, hey, teacher, you've done such a great thing for us, or you were there for us, it's important. And another, important reason is when you go for further studies, remember you need their references. So don't really try to act smart with teachers, right? Support a campus employee in some way. In your life later, you will remember that canteen guy whom you supported, or that sweeper whom you supported actually got a life. Maybe his or her child got to study because of your support. Maybe they got to get out of a hospital out of some injury, etc. Stand for something. It's really a great feeling, if you can do that. Keep connection with your alma mater always. Never give it up in your race in life. You can always be running, but find time, every year to come back and meet up with people, see the places, remember the nice things that have happened in your life because of being in that place. And whatever you are today is because of your alma mater. So please, you can't make everyone happy, but you have to do this, right? Apologize. You don't become smaller by apologizing. If you have done something wrong and made somebody unhappy, please apologize. You have one chance in life to say sorry. Don't give it away. Even if you don't say, you must say thank you. You must do everything which is right. But apology, never lose the opportunity, because it always makes you taller in somebody's eyes. So if you've done something wrong, please don't feel so bad about it. And I'm just coming to the end. I feel that experiencing joy is sheer bliss, right? You can become number one in the class. You can do everything. But there are two questions you must answer in your life. Have you found joy in your life? And has your life brought joy to others? And these are the two questions in the bucket movie that is asked, and it's very powerful. Have you found joy in your life? I, trampled somebody, I trounced somebody, I defeated somebody. Am I feeling good about it? Right? And has your life brought joy to others? Did my act actually help somebody, make somebody feel good? Or did my act make somebody feel really small? Well, I don't know. You have to answer this. But I think if these two questions stay in your mind till the end of your life, I think you will always do the right things. So please have that bliss and joy. I'm not saying that you have to go to some Baba or Paramatma or, some Swami. I'm not saying all that. But I'm saying there are many small ways in which you can bring joy into your life and others' life. And look at this lovely little punk there. Yeah? What does it say? My bucket list is sit in the bucket, smile. Isn't that so cute? And that's all it takes for you to be happy. Making bubbles, children feel happy. Why do we lose that child in us to experience that sheer joy in life? And so, what happened? Okay. Right. So what gives you joy? Think about it. And pursue that relentlessly, no matter what anybody says. If you would like to go on your bike at night and give some, bed sheets and clothing to people who are on the roads, go and do it. You don't need anybody's approval for doing that. If you want to have fun on a weekend with a bunch of friends and that gives you joy, do it. There's no expectation, but do something that brings joy. That joy is an adrenaline pump, right? Your studies have to be good. And I told you the backdrop of all my discussions with you today is you have to be good at your studies. That's what your primary purpose is. But you have to become a very good human being. And that's what will make you a great leader. So you're not answerable to anyone except for yourself. And so in the final analysis, and that's my last slide, which says, one day your life will flash before your eyes. Make sure it's worth watching. What kind of movies do you like to watch again and again and again? Things that make an impact on your life. It's your life, right? It's up to you to see how you want to deal with it and lead it. But when you reach that, sunset time of your life, and everything keeps coming back to you, make sure you're loving every frame of it. That's really, really important. And these two old men have actually proved in this movie that you don't need a lot to lead a great life. You need to be great from within to lead a great life. And I'm telling you one thing, after many years of working in the corporate, that, you can do some path-breaking things, which is absolutely admirable. But the ones who are remembered are the ones who have dealt with people around them in the best way that they could. And being compassionate, being humane, and treating people with respect and dignity. I think that's what really is important. So if you start practicing this from now, fill your bucket list with all these things, I think you will be the best version of yourself. And years later, it's not just who will be happy to watch your film replay. Your whole family, your whole neighborhood will feel happy to look at you. So that's my proposition to you at the end. What's your bucket list? Stop dreaming about your bucket list and start living it. That's what makes life really worthwhile. So thank you so much. And I I hope it's of some value. I'm sorry if it is not about how to dress up and how to shake hand and how to face an interview. But if you do all these things, my friends, right, there's nothing that can stop you in the interview. That's my submission. So thank you very much to CIT for giving me the opportunity, and to all of you for having patiently heard me through this session. So thank you very much. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to the organizers.
Thank you, ma'am. Your speech has given us the essence of idea of enjoying smaller things. Can you explain how students can get themselves out of disappointments during the student life, ma'am?
Yeah. So, good question. Disappointments mean that you have tried something, first of all. So, feel happy. Because people who don't try anything will never feel anything, right? So that's very important. So you're doing something, you're kicking your hands and legs. That's very important. The second thing is resilience is a quality that you have to develop now. Every single day, what we need in this world, whether it's with Corona, whether it's with your studies, whether it's about relationships with people, or, ability to find a job in the first instance, not find, all these things actually boil down to one key characteristic, which is resilience. You need to be extremely resilient and, build this mental strength every single day to say that this is not the end of the world. If you don't get a job, is it the end of the world for you? It's not the job that you were looking for, but this world has got many opportunities for people. Are you willing to try something else? Or are you going to follow only one route and say, oh, I haven't gone on this route and therefore I'm a failure? Being a failure or a success is here, my friends. It's not what others tell you. It's here. Okay? King Bruce and the spider is a beautiful story. King Bruce was fighting the battle. And at the end of the day, he was very, very disappointed because he was not able to win. And he was not able to overcome. And he was sitting in that dungeon with a little light, thinking, and what else should I do? What strategy should I deploy to win? And as he's thinking, he sees the spider on the wall. And the spider tries to go up and comes down. And then go up and comes down. Halfway through comes down. Almost to the end comes down. That spider did not give up for the entire night. And then by the rays of the morning, that spider managed to get over the wall. And that was the inspiration for King Bruce to say, if this little thing can do it, I have got so much of power. I can do a lot more. So you need to be thinking in your mind that you're a winner. Otherwise, you've lost everything even before anything happens. So I think resilience is important. Having the right friends, having a good mentor when you're going through tough times so that you don't fall into depression. All these things are very important. And reading the right kind of stuff is important. When I'm depressed and I go and watch Devdas, it's going to be the worst thing in life, right? Anyway, I'll feel like dying. So that's not what we should be doing. I think as educated human beings, we should make the right choices of the people we are with, hanging around with, and the stuff that we expose ourselves to when there are disappointments. Yeah?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your magnificent and marvelous words, which remains remarkable in our minds. Thank you for taking off your busy